Confidants. Welcome back to another beautiful sexual quarantineable episode of Confidently Insecure, the podcast. We are absolutely sure we don't know everything. And I'm really excited about this episode because we are interviewing the one, the only, Remy. And it's Kassimir, right?
Yes.
Not Kissimir.
No, Kassimir, but Kissimir would be super cute.
I was gonna say you probably would have been harassed in high school, but I'm glad it's.
I would have loved it.
Kassimir. You are the host of the podcast How Come. You are also the star of a Netflix episode that's all about orgasming.
The female orgasm specifically. Yes.
Specifically the female orgasm. And
yes.
I'm so excited to talk to you because obviously we talk a lot about sex and coming and vaginas on this podcast. And we had August McLaughlin on before. She's the author of Girl Boner. And her experience was about being able to come only with a partner.
Yeah.
And your story is a bit different because you didn't come at all until you were 28 years old. That was kind of like your claim to fame, your rise to notoriety, being a household name. Tell me what possessed you to talk about something and be so honest about a topic that most people in the world would see as embarrassing.
Taboo and embarrassing, yeah. I mean, that's not to say that I didn't find it the same. But yeah, so I was 27 when I conceptualized the idea of How Come. I'd been doing stand-up for I think 4 years.
She's a comedian.
And so yeah, I do stand-up comedy. And so I think that's where I started to speak more honestly, about my life, making jokes about stuff, especially stuff that was very, vulnerable stuff that you wouldn't otherwise say. So that I think broke the barrier for okay, I'm willing to talk about me. And then I started seeing other women who were at my stage or a little higher, who were all doing stand up about their orgasms. And every time it would happen, I would kind of be is she really doing that? And I would take them afterwards and I'd be oh, I love that joke about the orgasms. And they'd be yeah, that part wasn't the joke. I really was having that many orgasms. And I'd be what? I don't think I've ever had one. And they'd be what? If you think you haven't, you haven't.
Exactly.
And so I was okay. And then I just started having more conversations with women like that. And they would also sometimes, when they found out, would be oh my God, I need to give you some wisdom.
Yeah.
I need to teach you what to do. You need to go home and masturbate for 30 minutes, kind of giving me assignments and stuff. And I would take them in, but ultimately I would kind of give up because I would feel I'm broken. It's never happened before. Why would it happen now? Maybe this isn't just not for me. I also didn't really know what I was doing completely. If somebody was oh yeah, just masturbate for 30 minutes, I'd be okay.
What does that mean?
I always thought because of pop culture and because of a lack of sex education that when women have an orgasm, it's from penis and vagina. That's all you see in movies.
Traditional.
She gets inserted, penetrated, whatever, and it's ah,
like a plug.
Yeah, and there's fucking fireworks, and I was oh, that's not happening to me. Maybe orgasms just aren't for me.
That's interesting. Can I ask more about that?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I'm sure you've talked about your pussy in every which way or form, so I'm just going to go there.
Yeah.
Also, sorry for anyone that's watching on youtube.com/KelseyDarragh.
What is this?
Okay, it's a climber's cane because I am having a horrific pain day. I have chronic pain in my jaw, and I'm just having a day where I'm doing CBD, Advil, fucking massages, exercises, and nothing is working.
It's a little self-massager.
And it's a self-massager.
I thought you were going to say you were going to hook it in your mouth.
Pussy? Oh, that too. I've definitely done that.
You're my jaw hurts.
I've definitely fish hooked myself, which is a fantastic sex position if no one's tried it.
You can do it from behind.
What a weird
and then,
sex position.
Have a little dildo stuck to the wall and fish hook yourself.
As
if anybody would ever want to do, but people might.
Listen,
people might.
Quarantine
honestly,
is making people
really explore themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
As they should.
Back to exploring yourself. Back to
yeah.
your history, because I want to talk about like when you said it took you seeing other women doing stand-up when you were 27 to talk about orgasms. Were you not talking about pleasure with your friends growing up?
Really? Like,
what was the environment like?
I feel like our conversation surrounding sex, it wouldn't be like, oh my God, I had the best sex. He did this to me. It would be like, I got him. You know, like I had sex with him and
I made
he
him
came
come.
and he loved it. Like there wasn't, at least with my friends, it wasn't like female pleasure centric conversations. And like there were girls talking about masturbating at camp, I remember, but they weren't really like sharing tips. And it still kind of was like, ooh, like if you did that, like you were gross.
So tell me a little bit about that, like, grossness, because I think that's also an age thing where, you know, obviously you mentioned the lack of sex education, the lack of knowledge about female pleasure. Like when we go to sex ed, we learn about like menstruating and not sex. Yeah. It's like this.
We learn about how not to have a baby.
Yeah.
Via sexual intercourse. I'm like, do you want to know how to not have a baby and have orgasms every time? Masturbate.
There you go. So
you want to know how to not get STDs? Masturbate.
And don't share your sex toys with like your roommate or what. That would be weird. Don't do that.
Truly do not do that.
Yeah. No. Unless you're dating your whatever.
Or I mean,
technically my roommate is my boyfriend.
We do share. Yeah.
So back to like the shame of the age of masturbating and camp and that whole conversation of like, you know, I think it's like a giggly, funny conversation that you have to a certain age. And then you reach like high school age, at least that was in my experience, where it's like, okay, people are fucking now. I was the last to lose my virginity, but I was 15.
Same. I was 16.
Wait, did you grow up in New York?
Fun of a lot. Yeah. Did you? No.
I'm in Florida.
Okay.
That's where I grew up.
Okay.
And I was made fun of a lot. Yeah.
The irresponsible place.
Like being 15, still being a virgin was horrific where I grew
I was
up.
just saying Florida is an irresponsible place.
Exactly.
They're all still at the beach. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, right now?
Right now.
Okay, but I must say, I told the confidants I was not going to talk about the virus, but just very quickly.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Those are spring breakers from out of town. Those are not Floridians.
Oh.
Everyone comes from like fucking Ohio and New York and fucking Michigan, and they all go down to spring break, and they're like, we're not going to quit this shit. And Floridians are like, we go to the beach all the fucking time. Like, I would go to spring break to like get laid and have fun and like make a drunk guy pay for all my shit and free shots and stuff. But I wasn't going to like leisurely, whatever. Okay. End rant.
Okay. I don't think they're going there leisurely either. I think they're going there to fuck and spread.
The fucking spread.
And spread, baby.
100%. Every memory of like spring break beach Florida was like drunk four-wheeling and drunk beach walking and fucking with sand in my pussy. Like it's not a fun experience. It's gross.
I was never able to do like the fun drunk spring break, but I also kind of think it wouldn't have been worth it because like any of the sex I was having, like
not fulfilling.
Pre-cum, right, was not fulfilling.
So yeah, okay. So let's talk about that then. So we talk about that age where people are starting to fuck. And I think it's not unusual that your friends were talking about like, I'm making sure he's coming because that's, you know, reputationally, you know, if a guy's going to talk about sex.
Everything was, is he going to talk about me? Is he going to talk about this? Is he going to talk about what I looked like? Is he going to talk about my O face? Like I remember everything in high school was gossip. And was, oh, I ate her out and I found some toilet paper in her pussy. I have never forgotten that. Literally, when I heard that, I was like, I'm never letting somebody go down on me. That is horrifying. I'm gonna be known as toilet paper pussy girl.
Hysterical.
Like, no.
Amy Schumer has a bit about that in her last special where she's like,
does she?
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, before I had sex, I would like go in the bathroom and clean out. And we were like, oh, I left a little piece of tissue in there, like get it out. Now she's like, now there's just a full roll of Charmin in there and I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck anymore because like I know that my boyfriend like loves me, but still to the same thing. I still mentally am always like, what are other people going to know? And
Right.
that's why having my podcast now is very effective, because I'm like, I could just tell you everything.
Yeah.
So it's not up to you to tell them how I fuck. I will tell them how I fuck.
Yeah, you have the control now.
Yeah.
So up until 27, you're having sex, but you're not orgasming, which I don't think is unusual in teenage years because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. When did you start to be like, I'm missing out on something?
21 or 22, because I had my first boyfriend, like serious boyfriend, that like we were fucking all the time, and he cared about my feelings.
Aww.
And I think before him, I was just fucking guys who weren't interested.
It didn't
in
matter,
me.
yeah.
So even to have them do it was like satisfying enough.
Yeah.
That I was like, he's here, and
Just
he
get it
called
done.
me at 5 a.m. Which
and
is,
he's like a football player, and he's that was me. Yeah,
he's the
absolutely.
tallest in our class.
I fucked the quarterback for like 2 years, and then he ended up being my first love. So I got the best of both worlds of like showing up to the football game, and like I'm know so he'd jealous. Be looking at me. Oh, dude, it was everything. But then we fell in love after high school, and it was kind of like, you're
Friday
not the
Night
quarterback
Lights.
Anymore. Yeah, but he wasn't the quarterback anymore.
True.
And I was like off to be a star in New York City. I lived in Brooklyn Heights.
See, that was my first serious boyfriend that I had my realization with. He was 4 years older than me. So like he was a senior when I was not yet even in college yet, but he stayed in Boston for a few years after he graduated. So when I was a senior was when we started dating, and he had been a punter in college.
Whoa,
so
hot.
All of his college friends thought he was like so fucking cool. And then like 2 years after we're dating, I'm like, oh, you're just like a business guy.
Underneath it all.
Yeah.
So were you masturbating in this era of your life?
So have been diddling. I've had my hands down there for my entire life. I've always been like a little pervert. Like I've always
little humper.
Yeah, like see, I would never hump things, but I'd always have my hands like
everything
in between and like up inside and just
keeping them
warm. But I never knew that there was an end goal until I started hearing about the end goal. But by that point, I think I was already having sex for such a long time that I thought that it was all penetration. And actually, no, there were times before sex that I would try to use foreign objects.
Markers, hairbrushes, toothbrushes. We've all done it.
Okay, thank you. I found a condom and I put it over the handle of a hairbrush.
Hot. Oh my God, hot.
Floop in.
Oh.
And then when one of my brothers got a vibrating Mach 3 razor, I had seen it on commercial.
My
I put a condom on
God.
that as well.
Where are you getting all these condoms?
From my brothers. I had older brothers.
Oh.
And
that's weird.
I know.
Not weird. But like, I don't mean to shame you, but I can't imagine my brother finding out my little sister. Oh, so you were sneaking them out.
Yeah.
They weren't like, here you go, put this on your brush.
No.
Okay.
They would die. But I think it was really respectful to put the condoms on.
Absolutely. So you would use the vibrating razor and then put it back?
Yeah.
Holy fucking Christ. Your brothers were shaving their face with your first vibrator.
Yeah, but the thing is I wasn't even using it properly. I was putting it up because I thought everything was insertion. Like if I had just brought it to the front, I would have figured more out.
So you were still like, you were very much still exploring, involved. There wasn't like a ton
all
of
the time
shame or.
And I loved sex. Like I loved like that's why I think like I was like a good candidate to start my podcast, because I was never somebody who was like, I don't want to have sex. Like I was always like, I love closeness. I love doing this. Like it still feels good even if there's no end. Like
and I think that's important to point out that that's very important to know, even like as adults or, you know, people not in a relationship. I think that's so important to state that sex can still be completely enjoyable and feel really fucking good.
So fun.
And orgasm doesn't mean anything. I mean, my sex therapist used to tell me that like with dicks, it's such a physical, visceral, like strong thing that you see, and you see the orgasm and it's like an end goal because it's physical. With female orgasm, it's not always a visible thing. And you know, that's why maybe we don't pay as much attention to it, because it's not this thing that's literally in your face.
Yeah, and it's not that this is important, but everyone always used to be like, it's not essential to having babies. And for me, when I heard that in health class, that was all I needed to know. I was like, it's not essential for having babies. That's what humans are for, is having babies. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's it. And now looking back on that, I'm like, how many times do you have a baby in your life? Maybe 4 if you're super ambitious.
Yeah.
How many times can you come though? Every day.
Oh my God. Every day.
Maybe 4 times a day.
I think my record is 8.
That's nice.
And now that this quarantine is happening, girl.
So
yeah, we'll see. I want to back up just a little bit when you talked about when you were 21 and you got your first love.
Yeah. Yes.
How did you navigate that conversation about orgasming with this person?
Oh my God. I will never forget that conversation. So this was around the first time that I ever had close female friends who were willing to talk about it as well.
That's important.
Like some of them still weren't. One of them owned the toy that ended up making it happen for me, never said anything while I started the podcast because she never felt comfortable. She never felt it was a thing that people discussed. But I had another friend who was like, I think we were just having a conversation one day and she said something about orgasms and I said, well, I don't think I've ever done that. And she was like, well, if you don't think it, you haven't done it. The same thing that the other woman said. And she gave me a book that it was called Sex. It's actually in the cover of my podcast artwork.
Yes, the photo. I love it. Yeah. It's so hot.
But that genuinely is a book that my friend gave me and was like, this is what you need to know. Go home, learn these things, because masturbating wasn't in the books that my mom gave me. The care and keeping of you. That was like, oh, your pubes are growing. That's normal. You know?
Here's what a yeast infection looks like, which is maybe why I get so many, because my hands are always in my pussy. Anyway, just to keep them warm. I digress. Carry on.
Warm and itchy. Keeps you active. I can always make bread.
When in
I'm
doubt,
an oven, baby.
Who are you going to carry during the quarantine, okay?
Little bit of sourdough.
I can feed a town, thank you.
Thank you.
Gross.
So gross. I'm just thinking about like the Jews leaving Egypt.
Me fucking too. Like famine who? Jesus who? Here she is. Thank you, God is a woman.
Moses, you don't have to hit a rock. I can make many things.
Bitch, my pussy makes human and bread. What more do you
need? She wet.
She does it all. Women really do run the world.
I'm so happy that my boyfriend's parents can't hear like at least one side of this conversation.
Oh yeah. No, I'm going to just be like, pussy cunt.
Yeah.
Cunt wet orgasm squirting. And then you'll just be like,
and science.
And impact on changing women's minds.
Yes.
I am a mentor.
Yes.
In a certain way, we both are.
Well, yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Icons. Hello. No. Humble. So my friend Caroline, she was like, you need to learn, whatever. And I had been looking at the book and I had also been really frustrated in our sex life to begin with because he had a lower sex drive than me. But also after every time we'd have sex, he'd finish and then I would be looking at him like, fuck you. I'm not done. I'm not done. And I didn't know what done was, but I knew that I wasn't fulfilled and that there wasn't attention paid to me that I felt I deserved.
And were you able to communicate that, or were you just holding it all in?
I was holding it all in. No, I was literally ready to burst. And that's kind of like me, or pre-cum me. That's like me, is I would hold everything
in. Pre-cum.
PC, yes.
Yeah, 2000 PC.
Yeah, that's literally what I say in my stand-up. Get out of my brain.
Good.
But we're going on tour when this whole thing's over.
We're the perfect duo. Same but different.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you know that.
In Thailand, baby.
Yes. Okay, so wait. What was I saying?
I don't know, but the fact that we can have full conversations just by saying one word at a time back and forth with each other for the last 5 minutes is so fucking millennial. I can't stand us.
Also with a lag. Wow.
With like pixelation.
With pixelation and lag, and we're crushing. Are we dating?
Yeah.
I think so.
Probably. I think we could do this long distance.
What's your sign?
Leo.
Oh, cool. Close.
What's yours?
Virgo.
Okay. I don't know how I fuck with Virgos. I don't have a lot of them.
I have a lot of Leo friends.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But we should probably try and have
date.
sex just to make sure we should not be dating.
Def. Do you know what's interesting about people having like phone sex and video sex? Like a lot of people are like dating through this thing without seeing each other and stuff.
Yeah.
And I find that so interesting because you can have screen chemistry, voice chemistry, everything. And then what if you get in front of each other and the pheromones are off?
That's why I don't know why people don't fuck before you get married. I get like religious reasons, but why? I get it. People have written to me and been like, hey, I love you, but I waited to have sex and it was the most incredible experience of my life. And I'm like, because you're not the norm.
But you can still smell them. That's the pheromone thing. Is I think sex can be like worked on, like you.
Oh yeah.
But the pheromones, I'm like, ugh, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
You have to love their morning breath.
Yeah, like my boyfriend, when I'm on my period, I swear to God, it's like a German Shepherd sniffing a fucking bag of cocaine. Like he just is amazing. Like, okay, that's disgusting. Okay,
that's
so back to you. Back to you knowing you were missing something in your life. You're dating this guy.
Yes.
Your pent up resentment, pent up cum.
Yes. Repentment. I was so repentful, and I also wasn't getting the release from myself. So everything was just like aimed at him. I was so mad at him.
Wow.
And then finally we were about to go to a dinner party because that was back when I was in my 30s. Now I'm in my 20s again. And
I love that.
Yeah, no, I was like when I was dating, I like morph into the people that I'm with. And so he was like kind of an older person and I was an older person then. So
that's
we were
very
going
interesting.
to a dinner party, and we were in the car just about to enter. And I was like, before we go here, I have something that I've been wanting to tell you for a really long time. And I like haven't. God. I just had to. Like it was this is like 2 months.
Drama.
I know. I am drama by Bravo. Hi, REMY.
Virgo. Oh my God, your Virgo is showing.
But also, I had been thinking about it for like 3 months. Like it wasn't just like a spur of it was like, when do I tell him? I should tell him. Like every night, waking up to him being like, he doesn't know. We're having sex again. I'm mad again. I just have to, because I don't want this relationship to end because I've kept something from him, and I'm so mad that it just like ruins the whole thing.
Right.
So I just kind of and it wasn't loud. I was just like, hey, I have to tell you something. And he was like, okay. And I was like, I don't think I've ever had an orgasm.
Oh my God. A pin drops in the background.
And he was like, okay. This is something we should work on. Like immediately. Aww. Yeah.
He's older. He's more mature. He's able to have that conversation.
It was like, I mean, he was 28. So he wasn't like that much old. But like in my head, he was older. But like he really did accept it in such like it wasn't graceful. Like, he wasn't like, oh, this is my fault. I haven't been doing something. Because he was also like, the second thing was like, have you, so you're not alone. And I was like, no. Aww. So he understood that it had nothing to do with him. It's very difficult to make somebody come who doesn't know how to do it for themselves, who has never accidentally even done it themselves because they're so like afraid of like what might happen.
That's interesting. Afraid of what might happen.
Oh my God. I was so terrified. Oh, so fast forward a few years or whatever. Him and I had broken up. We tried a bunch of stuff, but again, it was mostly vaginal based. Like we bought a rabbit, and instead of using the little ear part, it was like the inside.
Ugh, I don't think the rabbit's that good, but never mind.
It also, now I know I'm not even a vibration person. I'm not even a direct contact person.
Right.
So fast forward to I'm at these comedy shows. I'm finding out that these girls are coming and I'm not.
Everyone's coming without me.
Everyone's coming without me. And I'm getting FOMO and it's not cool.
Yeah.
And I finally speak to my younger sister about it, who's 3.5 years younger. And I'm like, Charlotte, apparently all these girls are coming. And I don't think I've ever had an orgasm. Have you? And she goes, well, yeah, alone, but not with a person.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, interesting.
So it exists.
And I was like, our boobies look alike.
Me and my sister's boobs look exactly alike too.
Besides a little coloring, they look alike, and our ginies do too. And I know that because we grew up together.
Same motherfucker. And my sister's gonna listen to this, so shout out to Megan and our twin pussies.
Shout out.
We're not alone.
And I was like, okay, that's interesting because if you can do it, that means I can do it. And I was like, also, I'm interested in the statistics about this now because Charlotte at the time had been working as a research associate producer at Last Week Tonight.
Oh, no way.
Oliver.
Amazing show.
And I was like, can we get the stats of how common or uncommon this actually is?
Ooh, I'm glad you brought it up.
I'd be curious. And so then she did a whole rundown with the stats. And also this was like a perfect storm because at the same time I'd been thinking about starting a podcast because I'd noticed all these comics going on the road and going on tour
and just talking and you're like,
they're
shut
not
up.
they're not necessarily good comics, but they've got a big podcast. So and like no shade to anyone specifically, literally no shade. I'm so proud of everybody who's done successful things with podcasting. You did it, and it inspired me.
We have a community. Yay.
But I was like, oh, I really would love to get more audience, and I'd been thinking of starting a podcast. I initially I was like, what's the universal death? And that's what it was going to be about.
I mean, yeah, that could absolutely be. I'm sure it is a podcast.
But then I received the stats from Charlotte, and it seemed that it was quite common that women weren't coming and that the pleasure gap was extremely wide, meaning the amount of times guys are coming during heterosexual sex versus women. In gay couples, it is very even. Men with men coming a lot. Women with women coming a ton.
Yes, I pulled the stats from your Netflix episode just to read it on here. And it was the study that asked a bunch of women in America and France. And a study showed 16 to 21% have very rarely or never experienced one. 50% of women report faking an orgasm, which we will definitely talk about in a little bit. A study in 2017 polled over 50K Americans, and it showed that 95% of hetero men regularly orgasm during sex, which is what you mentioned, opposed to only 65% of heterosexual relationship women reported that they have regular orgasms. But 86% of gay women said that they have regular orgasms during sex, which then, the episode talks about, like, why is it that once you involve a man, the stats drop so deeply? So are these the stats that kind of blew your mind into being like, someone's got to talk about this?
Yeah, there's that one. And then also I wanted to be held accountable in like this quest for my own orgasm because like, as I said, like people would give me these assignments, like, or even my sister would be like, you need to go home and use the rabbit this way or whatever. And then I would give up and I'd be all like, no, this isn't going to happen. And like, sometimes I would just get so depressed and like, I wouldn't do it for like months at a time. But then I was like, oh, what would hold me really accountable is if I did a podcast about this. And every episode, somebody gave me one of those assignments, or as we call them now, opportunities. Because my sister was like, assignment sounds too harsh. Like, this is like an exciting opportunity for you to be able to.
That's great.
Whatever.
Great way to look at it. Otherwise, it's a little depressing.
It can be homework with my broken push.
You know, I didn't mention it, but when I had a podcast at BuzzFeed, and I'm sure a lot of confidants are going to remember this, I had a co-host who was also 28 years old and had never had an orgasm by herself or with someone. And we started like started as a jokey segment called Kate's Gonna Come. And like every week we would check in with her to see like what she had done, had she tried anything, and people would like use the hashtag on Twitter. But about probably like 10 or 15 episodes in, she was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, it is not it. And I felt like I was responsible for the pain a little bit because I would egg it on every week, being like, all right, now it's time for, has Kate come yet? Kate, have you come yet? You know? And then I was like, oh my God, instead of approaching the subject with compassion and like positivity and kind of like what you're talking about, opportunity, you know, she eventually was just like, this is my thing. And
too,
you know,
it's
too personal, but you were kind of like the opposite.
It's well, but it needed to be, because I didn't want to quit. And if people were tuning in, and they were like immediately, that's how I knew it was so, because I wasn't, I had 3,000 followers at the time, like on Instagram. I was like a comic.
Yeah, you're a hot
comic. But I always say,
and you're a comic.
I was going to say, I had a lot of followers for a comic and no followers for a hot girl. I'm not photogenic. It is very sad for me, but it does improve my humor.
There you go.
Yeah. But, so yeah, I wasn't popular, but the subject matter seemed to really grab people. So it was like top of the iTunes charts like the first day that it launched.
Yes, honey.
And then that Netflix Explained crew reached out to me. And
were you like, oh my God, Netflix wants to put my pussy on fucking international television? Because that's a big step. Podcasting, where it's very intimate and you feel like you're in the comfort of your own house, you have control over it, versus a fucking Netflix crew comes in to talk about it. What the fuck?
Yeah. The thing that worried me about that was when they asked me to do it, I hadn't come yet. And then by the time we were shooting, I had. So I was
spoiler
nervous.
Alert, it was, you came by episode 4?
6.
I
know, I couldn't really make it to like actually, I think mini-series is 6 is mini-series. But yeah, I was nervous when they first asked me, because I was like, if I broadcast this that I haven't on Netflix, a lot of guys are going to flood in and be like, I can help you. I can do this. And you know,
clearly, according to the statistics, you fucking can't, men.
You can't. Especially if I can't. I always say, like, expecting a guy to make you come when you haven't been able to do it yourself is like handing somebody a 9-sided Rubik's Cube and being like, hey, figure this out. Also, you're naked. Enjoy. Like,
what am I supposed to do with this?
The stakes are too high.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen. But yeah, I was really nervous. Then I came so quickly so I was nervous that they wouldn't want to show me anymore. And I was like, they're going to look for some other cumless woman. Spoiler alert, they couldn't find any other cumless women willing to talk about it. Yeah, because it was fucking embarrassing. And I also was nervous because mainly because of the guy thing, but I had a boyfriend the whole time I've been doing the podcast. So like,
great.
I can always be like, sorry, can't fuck you. Have a boyfriend.
Yeah. And it clearly didn't
Not that there
seem
needs to be an excuse, but yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, it just goes to show that you don't technically need orgasm to have a successful relationship either?
No.
Question mark? No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think like there's a lot of anorgasmic people that like, if they can't do it, they're like, well, don't give up on loving me. You know, like you can still love me, and then like we can figure this out together. Like I think we were together like 2 years before I came. Yeah. And now
let's talk about that.
The relationship is better.
I imagine so. It's like leveling up in Mario. It's like, oh my God, I could just do more.
I have the metal hammer now, so
so watch the fuck out. So you talk about
all
it,
blocks.
Yeah, you talk about it in episode 6. I played it because I just wanted to hear how you presented that you came after 28 years. And it was pretty chill. Like you were kind of like, yeah, I came. And it like, what?
Well, because
you didn't have a parade?
I did have a parade. And honestly, like the day it happened, I announced it, I think on Instagram. I think I was texting my friends. So like by the time like we sat down to record, like it was like all out of my system.
Copy that.
But the actual day itself was so insane. And it was like my birthday times 9,000. Like people were writing me being like, I'm so proud of you. Like I was like, ew, how do you know about
why
me
do I
still?
feel so connected to these people?
Yeah.
So you talk about like how you did it. Do you want to like give that advice, or do you not think it matters, or what?
Oh, it matters. I mean, I'll run you through the assignments. I think you should, if you want to, go listen to How Come.
Yeah, it's
like,
very funny.
It is funny, and it's funny to hear like my reactions to some of the assignments. Also, some of the other people's reactions, like who were listening from day one, like they would do assignment 1 and it would work for them.
So you actually help people come.
Oh,
I didn't even think about the influence of that.
Kelsey, there are 400 women around the world who have had their first orgasms because of my assignments.
Oh,
and that's
the power.
Right. Yeah.
You are like the Beyonce of coming. I can't think of someone else. Maybe like Dr. Ruth or something, but she's like kind of on her way out.
She is still killing it, honestly.
Sure.
She really is.
I don't know. She's got to get on TikTok or something.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hulu put her back on the map for a second.
Yeah. Her doc was like, I was crying and snotting on the plane when that was still allowed.
Oh yeah. You cannot
do that now.
Yeah. So tell me about the assignments and the big
So the assignments, and some of these you might like assignment 2 might work for you. Some of you, assignment 6 might be the only one, but it is worth going through all of them just to like check some boxes. So number 1 was sit in your room for 30 minutes and just lightly graze your puss over your panties. Don't like have the pressure of going under or touching or wetness or whatever. Just lightly 30 minutes, and don't expect anything to happen. Just get used to giving yourself that amount of time, because that's
an amazing first step.
Yeah. And that's one of those stats that is in the Netflix episode, and it's how much of a time gap we have between men and women's ejaculation, or penis owners versus vulva owners. Vulva owners generally take like half an hour to warm up. Sorry. You know, penises, it's like 4 to 8 minutes. Yeah. We did not. But it is something to know that like you might have to dedicate a little more time to yourself, and that's okay. And like you have to also carve out that space. Like I used to not even want to have me devoted to for that long, because I was like, but the penis might not get hard still, or like it might go away, and like
too many
this can't be about
factors.
Me, and it's not supposed to be about me. But it like when working on your orgasm, it's about you. Make it about you. Be selfish. Okay. So number 1, get used to giving yourself 30 minutes. Try to graze. Don't expect anything from it.
I would even say that that's like fucking 50% of it is allowing yourself the permission to be there. Because even me, who comes 8 times a day, if I wanted to, will have to be like, okay, like block out the whatever amount of time and be like, this is my cum time.
Yeah. But that it's so many things in life are like you wait for other people to give you permission. Like even stand up, I waited for other people to be like, hey, you're funny, you should do that. Wow. You know, even though I knew I wanted to do it from 14, I waited till somebody said it when I was like 25. You know, give yourself the permission. Don't wait. Like it's like, okay. So then number two was watch porn. And I had never watched porn in a sensual way. I had always done it in a really analytical way, and I think a lot of women are very analytical visually. So I will amend watch porn to watch female focused porn made by women. There are a lot of sites out there. that can give you bad information. Erica Lust.
Yes, we had Erica Lust on adult shit. Yeah.
Erica Lust is amazing. Beleza.co is amazing.
Oh, there you go.
There is literary you can read. There is audio. I recommend Dipsy or Quinn.
I love reading a dirty story almost sometimes more than the physical.
Audio erotica, though, right now, it is so like... there are ones that it can teach couples what to do, instructional
ASMR.
ASMR. There's a guy on Quinn. His name is Jim. He goes by Feel Good Filth, but he's like one of the erotica people we had him on. He does he'll do hey, you little dirty girl, or he'll be like, hey, come cuddle with me. It's an amazing time to be lonely right now and just dive into audio porn.
God, I have not thought about that because my partner and I, we're in an open relationship too, and I'm kind of a very sexual being, and we are always into discovering new levels of sex. We're okay, we've got the basics, we know how to make a baby if we wanted to. What else is there in the universe? And so we recently got into breathing exercises together and trying to get the endorphins up. But I never thought, I think right after this, we're both gonna put our AirPods in. And we're going to listen to. That sounds so fun. It's like having sex with 4 people at once.
Yes.
Girl, you just taught me something.
Silent rave.
Yeah, and I thought I knew everything there was about sex, and you just blew my fucking mind.
Amazing. I hope
you really are the Beyonce of coming.
We love to see it.
We love to see it. Teach me your ways. I'm going to start calling you Jesus. Okay. Sorry, we got so off topic, but back
Jesus
to you
was also
coming.
a Jew, though, so it's perfect. And I'm great at carpentry.
Are you Jewish?
Fully.
Okay. Got it. Love it. I, for probably 10 years, was only dating Jewish people for a very long time.
Yeah, that's why I jumped to Passover reference before Jesus reference. But
okay, well, I'll switch up my jokes for you.
Also, just testament order,
I can say all the books of the Bible.
Me too.
What? We were fucked up. I don't know shit about taxes, but Genesis, Exodus.
Wait, that's literally. I know we're not supposed to be talking about quarantine, but I was like, thank you, quarantine, for delaying taxes because I was not ready.
We have an episode, Sally Krawcheck. You can talk about women's investing. Guys, go listen to that. Anyways, moving on. Okay, back to
the assignments.
Yes.
Okay. So assignment 2, watch porn, yada, yada, yada. You're going to love it or you won't. That was one of my things is I was like, I don't think this is for me. And also the assignment was so that you could get turned on. I don't have a problem getting turned on.
You are finish line.
I'm always turned on. It's how do I turn off?
Yeah.
How do I finish?
Yeah.
So then I had my friend Aaliyah on to talk about porn because she used to do porn and she's now a comic. And she was like, well, honey, that's not what you don't most people don't even need porn. You need to pay attention to your clitoris and your vulva. And you need to look at it in the mirror.
Yes.
Because I had not done that in a very long time. And she was like, you need to look at your parts. You need to look at with something next to it that tells you what the parts are. Because some of us, myself included, were confusing our clitoral hood for our actual clitoris. Sometimes your hood needs to be pulled back. Sometimes your clitoris is smaller than you think it is. Sometimes it's bigger than you think it is. All that stuff. And so she advised me to get horny, look at it up close and personal, masturbate in the mirror, look at watch the clit, watch your vagina and see how it changes, how it engorges. What part of your clitoris is sensitive? Is it the top left quadrant? Yes, it is.
6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, where are we?
Top left. If anybody wants to fuck me,
I think mine is. I'm literally doing it right now. I think
everybody always does.
Mine is top right. Well, top. I don't know. I think I'm a 12 o'clock. I think I'm a 12 o'clocker.
If we were,
this would be perfect. We could
parallel.
Scissor.
We could scissor sisters. Yeah.
I love scissoring. I don't care what lesbians say. It's not real. I scissor all the time, so therefore it is.
I have never officially scissored, but when I was a young child, my friend and I would experiment together, and she and I would interlock knee to puss, and we would knee each other at the same time.
Scissoring.
That's scissoring. Okay, good, because that's fantastic.
If you were to that's a half scissor. That's more like that's like wrenching.
Yeah. No, there needs to be direct contact in the trib.
Yeah. Okay. So I love the idea of doing it in front of the mirror and really exploring that area, because I think a lot of people or vulva owners don't do that enough. We're not taught to do that enough unless you're like at the gyno.
And it's also really interesting to like see it move, like the way that you were talking about how penises are more visual and that's why we're more focused on their erections. Well, your clit gets an erection too. And you can see it. If you're looking at it, you can see it. You can see your vaginal opening open more and engorge and like kind of pulse and stuff. And it is like pretty hot. And like that's part of my journey too, and a lot of other women's, is unlearning that vaginas are gross and seeing that they're hot, because that was another thing. It was like, do you finger blast yourself? Do you smell like fish? Like in the high school hallways. You know, it was like when vaginas, fuck you, can give you an orgasm. Your penis can't really do that for us.
And that's you're like pretty useless without a vagina as like a human race.
If you want to edit this back to the stat section, but you don't have to.
We don't
I don't know how crazy you are. Okay. Okay. Stat section. This is the craziest stat I learned. Only 8 to 20% of women can come from just vaginal penetration alone.
I heard that there's no such thing as a vaginal orgasm, that it is all clitoral. Don't they say that in your Netflix episode?
Yeah, but do you know why? Well, I mean, you know why, but I'm going to explain this to the listeners. Okay.
Oh, because of the clit is...
Because of how big the clit is. You don't realize. So what you think the clit is just that little nubbin or whatever. That is the tip of the iceberg. Okay?
Literally. An
iceberg. The clit goes 4 inches back inside your body and then straddles the vaginal opening.
And it can like go into your fucking thighs.
Yeah.
Like so the nerve endings?
Those women... or those people who have clits that, or they can come from just vaginal penetration. It's not because the vagina's having an orgasm. It's because the clitoral legs are closer to the opening, so they're rubbing it through it.
Wow. They're using like full power.
It's like, and that's another thing is I think you can clench and work on it.
I'm clenching
and work on it. Every time somebody says Kegel, someone clenches. It's the rules.
It's the rules of the universe.
Oh my God. I'm going to start a quarantine challenge that's just tagging people and doing Kegels.
Oh, please tag me first.
I will.
We will blast this shit out. By Monday, if you are not listening to this and Kegling in your fucking room or car, you shouldn't be in your car, be in your room. That's the challenge. What are you going to call it?
You can be in your car.
See a Kegel, send a Kegel? Is that what the rule? Is that how you do it?
Kegel me by your name? No.
Yeah.
That's not clever enough.
Like the trend right now is see 10, do 10 for push-ups. Or like see a dog, send a dog. So riding on that wave, it would be...
Clench. 10.
I don't know. We can workshop this after.
Yeah, we'll figure it
out. Okay, so we've got the assignments. I'm loving what you're giving us.
Yes. Okay. That was assignment 2?
3.
Watch porn?
You did.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Rubbing,
3.
Porn,
3.
Mirror.
Okay,
now we're at
3.
4. We're getting
3,
close.
Look at your vagina. 4. This was a big one for me because I had been doing all this stuff. It's still not working. Why? A lot of people were saying, oh, it must be a mental block. You must have something that you're so like fucked up or dark or whatever and that you haven't unlocked and like, and I was like, oh, fuck. Well, I don't want to unlock it then. But I
do you blame your parents at all? Like, is there any resentment to like your mom for not like...
No.
Okay, yeah. I don't think it's the parents' job to teach you how to orgasm.
Cried.
That's an individual journey.
No, I mean, I do wish there had been more conversation about it because I think she would have been willing to do it and we were comfortable enough in that way. My mom always said sex is supposed to be fun.
Aww.
But
Good for her.
And like my parents are both medical professionals, so we've always talked in like
rich. We should date. You're like sounding better and better.
They are. I'm a comic.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why you're allowed to be.
Truly. and I used to feel guilty, and then I was like, but no, I give people orgasms from my house, so it's okay.
You're the Beyonce of orgasming. Just tell them that.
So and also people were like, well, maybe your body is dysfunctional, like maybe like
psychosomatic.
But like you're physically not able to do it. Imagine that or whatever. That is so fucking uncommon. But the assignments were to go to my gynecologist and go to my psychologist. And my psychiatrist. I went deep. Yeah. And I was like, I want to tell you all my demons, all the things I'm scared of, all the things that whatever I want you to know. Tell me if this is normal. And if I'm okay. And my psychiatrist was like, everything's fine. Also, she checked that the medicine I was on wasn't inhibiting anything.
Big factor, huge factor.
Like I'm on antidepressants, and a lot of anti-anxiety antidepressants can like lower your libido. But I still was horny. So that wasn't the problem. And then I went to my gynecologist, and she flicked the bean, and she was like, everything's working.
You've got all the parts.
You got all the parts. And so then after those, I like really ramped up the assignment. And then next week, assignment 5, I had 2 sexual wellness gurus on. They're both DOMs, Dominus Eris and Goddess Lola Jean.
Sure.
And Goddess Lola Jean had me go to her female masturbation class.
Love.
Where I went to a yoga studio with like 12 other women of all shapes, sizes, ages, colors, and we all learned how to masturbate. She showed us on a vulva puppet, then she showed us these tricks on herself. I didn't know
Now, are you touching yourself in front of people? Because I feel like that would be terrifying for someone who doesn't know their body.
Well, the first half of the class is like you just watch her give you the parts of the vulva. Then she teaches you like little tricks on her own body while everybody else is like still clothed and just watching. Then she's like, okay, everybody go get a drink, go get a towel. And then we get a drink, we go on the towel, we lay down, we put a towel over our lap. We're all looking at the ceiling while like music is playing and people are walking around like
are your pants off?
Your pants are off.
Holy shit, this is so intimidating.
They put well, because when I was recording at this time, it wasn't a weekly podcast. It was every 2 weeks so that I'd have time to do the experiment.
Right.
So the experiment. Time to go to the lab.
You're the little test rat.
Yeah. But I was getting so fucking impatient because I was like, I'm having conversations about this constantly. I'm talking to other people about it constantly. Like, I just want to do it. So I went to this class, and there were a lot of tips that I learned in there that I thought were really good. I thought if you wanted to do clitoral stimulation, you had to like jackhammer it or whatever directly. No. Did you know that you can use your labia and massage it from the outside? I did not.
Right.
I also did not know that you could have the permission to touch your own butt while masturbating or touch your own boobs.
I'm like a big like neck area. My décolleté.
I've kissed my own shoulders masturbating now. Like,
I love that.
I've talked dirty to myself now. You know,
sometimes I make out with a pillow, fucking, because it's just there.
I've never done that.
Well, try it sometime. That's my piece for you.
Okay. Then, so the other half of assignment 5 was the masturbating class didn't work. I went to a tantric massage.
Oh my God, you are overloading yourself.
I had Aaron give me a tantric massage, which was literally you get massaged naked by a guy or a girl. And
is this legal?
Technically it's sex work, but like it should be legal. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just mean like this isn't at like a massage parlor that has a face of like Wee Spa.
No, the place is called 3F Studios. And
oh my God,
it's
amazing.
like open, like it's where Lola had the class too. Like they just do all these sexual wellness workshops, and like it's a really.
So you have a boyfriend, and he's okay with you getting a tantric massage.
He, I don't think, was listening to me the first few times I told him I was going to get one, and I don't think that he like
just a minor miscommunication.
Yeah, I don't think he like understood fully what I was saying. And then when I told him about it, like I got out of the car or got out of the thing, got into the car with him, like told him everything in like complete detail. I was like, yeah, he fingered me around my tampon. And he was like, what? And I was like, what do you mean what? And then he like got mad at me and I was like, no, now I'm mad at you because you weren't listening to me.
And it's your journey. It really is like an individualized experience because like you said, if you can't even do it alone, how are you expecting someone else? So like he did have to give you some space to do your thing.
He also was like very supportive of the journey itself. And afterwards, like when he came to terms with the fact that like, no, Remy's not attracted to this man. No, this doesn't mean anything for our relationship. Like this was purely
it's an ego.
like,
it's an ego thing. Yeah.
Then he was like, yeah, it's fine. I don't care. Yeah. So that, I mean, is the most extreme of number 5. And then number 6 actually didn't even come to me on the podcast. Interestingly, once I came out as not coming,
PC,
a bunch of other comics who had podcasts were like, oh, we need to have you on. And my friends Will, Casey, and Patrick have a podcast called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where they only interview women. They had me on, and Will Winner was like, hey, have you ever tried this toy called the Womanizer? It's a clitoral suction toy. And our friend Rachel Sennett, who's also a comic who had never come before, used this thing and made her come.
Wow.
So I bought that, and it is quite expensive.
Yep.
But it
What
worked.
is it running for now? Let's see.
I think it's like $200, but that's not even the one that I recommend the most because I've found a lot of other much cheaper ones that do the same exact thing.
Yeah, I think I have a knockoff. Yeah, this one's listed at, oh no, wait, I do have the Womanizer. I think it got sent to me though. It's $200, but then they have ones that are like $79.
Yeah.
It's a little more reasonable. I think in my head, I always thought dildos and sex toys were going to be like $20. And then I realized the mechanics that went into it. And I even have the one that looks like the little beetle with like the labia wings. That one was pretty expensive. It's like the hands-free vibrator.
Oh, the Dame one.
The Dame, yeah. Like,
Eva.
and then I'm like, yeah, Eva Dame. I'm like, the fact that the science that went into this deserves the price tag for it. Yeah.
Well, so the science behind the Womanizer and these other, I don't even want to call them clitoral suction because it's not technically suction. It's air pulse technology.
Sure.
Okay,
Elon Musk over there.
Thank you. No, but they get mad at us when we like talk about them publicly. They're like, stop saying suction. People think it's like vacuum on your pussy. And it's not. It's not.
It's like
it's more.
It's
like but it's like a little blowjob essentially.
Cute.
So like, I mean, you have one, but for the people who don't have one, it's like a little circle that you put on your vagina, or you put it on your clit. It's clit sized, and then it simulates a blowjob for you. And the one that I like the best, there are a few. There's +1 air pulse arouser. There is the Satisfier Traveler Pro.
Cute.
There is also the Sweet Vibrations Girl's Best Friend, which has a vibrating handle. So if you want to like put it in you and like do that kind of stuff, you can do that too. But there's also like the suction part.
Well, I think the interesting thing about the Womanizer was it was the first like culturally relevant sex toy that wasn't a vibrator. Like I had only seen dildos, which don't do any motion, and vibrating or like spinning, but this I feel like was really revolutionary, dare I say.
It was clit centric. I mean, yeah, I guess vibrators were too, but you could confuse yourself with a vibrator and just stick it up the hole.
Well, yeah, like, that's all we know.
There's like there's no questioning, and it's like you put it on.
So you get this and you're like, what?
I was so excited. Oh, also, your listeners don't know this about me, but I started the podcast out of my grandmother's house where I live. And so all the sex workers coming over, everybody who's interviewed has met my grandmother.
Cute. Keeping it in the family.
She has since passed away, but we love her and we thank her for giving us this opportunity.
Absolutely.
But at the time, I had just gotten this thing in the mail. I was so fucking excited. I was like, I want to do this immediately. I was like, made sure that she wasn't in the house. I turned on Rihanna. I put down a towel because I thought I might be a squirter because I heard some people in my family are.
Oh.
And
Hereditary.
also more common than you think.
Absolutely. And I think it might be hereditary.
Yeah. And not gross. Very hot.
Yep.
So put it on, put the music on, laying down, getting so excited. Then my grandmother, I hear, hi.
No.
I'm like, no.
This is the moment.
Yeah. So then I run out and I go, Nan, get in your room, put on some music or something loud. Like, I just need you to go in there. I'm recording. Like, she'd been used to me recording.
Yeah.
Just, I'm recording. Get in your room. So she went in. I went in. Turned the music super up. Tried to think of something hot. Did. Also was just like so fucking pumped.
So it was mental stimulation. You weren't using porn.
No.
Yeah.
I can be turned. I'm like just.
Yeah. That's not the problem.
That wasn't the problem. Put it on within 30 seconds. I was like, oh no. And then I started squirting. So I run to the bathroom because I was like, I don't want to do this like on my bed. And then I was like looking in the mirror because I was like, I don't think I've still felt it. I have to keep going. So I had to like look at myself in the mirror and I was like, Remy, don't quit. Keep going.
Little self-talk mantra moment.
I was like, don't take it off. Now's the time. And
now or never, baby.
Then my legs are like, you can't stand while you're coming. And they start like shaking. And I get down on the floor. I had like 6 orgasms. I'm like squirting so much. There's so
in
much
your bathroom?
In my bathroom.
Wow.
Like squirting, so much fluid, then crying. Just
crying.
So like happy.
That's
and then
28 years of backed up fluid coming out of your eyes and pussy. You were just leaking like a faucet. Just your pipes exploded.
I was spent.
And you're crying. These are happy tears or like shame or everything kind of combined?
First, they were so happy. I was like, I did it. And then I was like, do I have to end the podcast?
I hate that that's what you thought.
I was like, this is my first thing I've really liked doing. But yeah.
So and when it happened, did you fucking know? Because you can squirt without orgasming.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. It's like the first one I was like, oh my God, there's so much fluid. But like, I still haven't felt that feeling that I'm supposed to. And
like, how do you define orgasm? Because I think like some people are like, it's cardio for the brain. Like there's no such thing as a bad orgasm. Like, is an orgasm to you the physical act of like the vulva in spasm?
Kind of. It's kind of like, it's like half that, but also like half like ramping up like a roller coaster ride that like you feel it like going like building and building, and then it's like like your walls are kind of shaking and like you know it when like your butt just clenches so tiny into your body and your face gets all weird. I think for me
it's like once I do that roller coaster ride and then it's like off the edge, I don't have any control. My body is doing its thing. Like I'm not like I can help facilitate it and make it last longer or ramp it up, or sometimes you just gotta like squeeze one out and go about your day. But for me, what I consider to be an orgasm is like exactly that ramp up, and then when I let go, my body takes over,
like the shivers.
Like the contractions, the movement. It's like I don't have control. Sometimes
I don't even care about like the letting go thing. Like it's just like fun to have the like ooh.
Yeah. So you're crying, there's liquid everywhere, you're worried about ending the podcast, Netflix is calling on your door. How did coming change your life?
In every possible way. You know how Rose says that about Jack Dawson changed my life or saved my life in every way a person can be saved.
Please do that more often in your life.
Literally, like, I feel like I couldn't advocate for myself in real life as well as in the bedroom.
So you gained a sense of control, confidence, and power over and your like agency.
Yeah. And just like my relationship's so much better because I can tell him what I need.
Yeah.
I can also, instead of like sitting there and being like, let's fuck, and then he's like, I'm too tired to fuck. in this relationship and my last one, I would go to sleep so sour and so mad or whatever because I'm like, you're not turned on.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, okay, Remy, take it in your own little hands.
Absolutely.
I grab my toy. I go to I have as many orgasms as I want. I don't even care.
You don't need a man.
Like, well, usually I'll just be like, hey, do you mind like cuddling me and kissing me while I do this?
Love that.
And
it can be
like,
a partnered activity. Like
he's like, yeah,
it doesn't have to be like creepy looking across the room, like jerking off at each other. It can be like a nice cuddly. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, or it can be like creepy looking at each other.
Yeah,
and it's just
if you're
like,
into
yeah,
that.
you like this.
You fucking pervert.
But usually what happens is that they do like it. And even if you're not looking at them, then they want to join in. So you've already had your orgasms and then they pump it out.
Speaking of joining in, so you've had this masturbation orgasm, which a lot of times can feel different than intercourse orgasm. Are you now moving your what did you immediately go to your boyfriend and you're like, get hard, we're fucking, or like, you know, what was that experience like having an orgasm with someone else? Because it is a different experience.
Yeah, I think I'm lucky that I was with him throughout this journey because I never had what a lot of women have where it's like they're accustomed to masturbating alone for a really long time. They have their routine down. Then they start bringing a guy into mix and they try to do it differently. And it's like, sweetheart, it's not going to happen differently.
If it ain't
like,
broke, don't fix it.
You have been training your whole life for this. Why would you change up the routine now? You know? You're going to the Olympics. You've been practicing the same floor routine. Don't get on the bars. Like, what are you doing?
You don't even know how to use the bars.
You don't even know how to use the bars are unusable. You don't have chalk. But so I was just like, okay, this is the thing that I've found that works for me. So let's bring this in with us. Yeah. And so we just trained the same way I've been training. And
did it happen the first time?
No.
Okay, that's interesting to know.
I still had to be like comfortable in like
that space.
I didn't want him to touch me the first few times because he did touch me the first few times and I was like going with it and then like I had to be like no don't do that because I need to show you what I'm doing and I can't give you words of encouragement while it's not working.
Yeah, you got to take care of you first.
Yeah, but like also if I say, yeah, that's great, you're going to keep doing that same thing. Right. So I just need you to watch and then learn and then be a part of this. Yeah.
So did that feel like I hate to say the final step because it's not, but for you going on this cum journey, did you feel like, okay, now that I've done that, I still have so much to do? Like it opened a whole new world, like Aladdin, you're on the magic carpet now? Yeah, it was like also besides just for me, like the companions, which is what my listeners are called, they would write in and they were like, the confidants and the companions.
Yeah, they're like, can you learn how to do it manually? Because a lot of us want to learn how to do that. And I would be like, well, that's not really important to me, but sure. You know, like if you like, I'm of the mindset that like if you have a washing machine, you don't do it by hand. Like, I just don't understand unless, like, you're on a desert island. But, like...
Yeah, I guess my washing machine is my hand.
That's great.
Yeah.
If that works, that's great. Yeah. But, like, I also was like, I don't need to, like, put this kind of pressure on myself that, like, saying that my orgasms aren't valid just because they're with a toy.
Absolutely not.
But, so, that was one thing.
Also, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think if you care that much about someone else's orgasm and you're not in a relationship with them, stop.
Well, because a lot of them are using me as a map.
Right, sure.
And it's like, that's amazing, but also my body's different than yours. And like, you go above and beyond.
Not everything's going to work for the same way for the same person.
All women are a snowflake.
You're
all different.
Thank you.
And we're very sensitive. No, but
I am. Yes, that's correct.
But yeah. So I also like one of my steps is like getting comfortable receiving oral. That's one of those things that I had convinced myself I don't like that because I wanted to be a cool girl. That like I don't need that. It's gross for you.
I only give amazing blowjobs, and that's my reputation. Yeah, I think it's something like you know, like your tastes change as you get older. Like you look back at clothes you wore in high school and you're like, oh my God, why did I do that? Or like, I didn't like sushi when I was 16. Now I fucking eat sushi every day. I feel the same way about intimacy and sex, that like it evolves, and maybe some shit, you know, some like kinks you thought were so shameful as a kid, you realize are pretty dope. Or like, I don't think the way I'm having sex now will be the way that I have sex in 5 years.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
It's like, do you want to keep growing? Cool. Like in
the
life
day you
and
stop
in general,
learning, the day is the day you die.
Agree. And the day that you stop taking interest in learning new things about your partner is the day you break up, or you should.
Ooh, amen. And I think too, that's like the same thing with your body. Like you should always be, yeah, it's like, it doesn't always go back to mindfulness and just awareness and like knowing that this is a journey and that there's always going to be things to learn about yourself and the puss.
Yeah, no, I was really frustrated for a while because people would be like, okay, well, learn this now. There's also a real enjoyment in, if you find something that works, plateauing for a little bit. If I've been hiking up a mountain for such a long time, I'm allowed to give myself a little plateau break. Don't go downhill, but
no
like
pressure. Yeah.
Keep your toy. Let your boyfriend hug you while you masturbate. If that's what you like.
I think this has been such a different interview than I planned on. Like, I know I sent you like a very lazy outline of like the things I wanted to talk about, but in a way, this really became such an informational class. Like, I feel like you gave us so many options and things to do. Like, I don't know what I was expecting this way to go, but it definitely, like, I totally went off script the entire time. Like, I'm just following what your kind of journey is.
Thank you. I was really excited for your outline because I was like, don't do the spiel, Remy. Don't do the spiel.
No!
But I love the spiel.
I know. Like, I know when people invite me to come on the podcast, they're going to talk about like 3 things. It's going to be bisexuality, chronic pain, or mental health. Like, those are my 3. And I've got a spiel for everything and I know how to do it. But I think that it just like reaches new audiences every time. Like, not everybody knows my story. And like, I didn't think I was going to learn anything here with you.
Yay.
And look at me.
And yes, when you assume, you make an ass out of you
and me. Speaking of ass stuff, we did a episode on anal like 2 weeks ago, so go listen to that.
Did you? That's one of my favorite episodes of my podcast.
Really?
Anal 101.
We had 4 perspectives. We had a gay guy, a bisexual queer girl, a straight guy, and then a single guy. So we all had like...
I love that.
I wish I could have had more, but you know, with the quarantine, I'm doing what I fucking can. Confidants. Remy, we are winding down. This is not over between us. Like, we're gonna exchange numbers and do weird shit. And
also, you're gonna be on my podcast, so keep your peepers out for any of your listening holes.
I will link that for your listening holes when it happens. I think, you know, bottom line, if people are listening to this who identify with it, know that you're not alone. It's not weird. Times are a-changing, honey. Hopefully by the time we have children, if that's your path in life, that this conversation will be a lot different. It's slow but sturdy, and I thank people like Remy for being so open and honest and talking about it and blah, blah, blah. Compliments you. So go listen to How Come.
Thank you for helping me
tell my story. Providing a space. Yay. Yeah. So where can the confidants go to become companions and follow and listen to you?
Come become a companion. Listen to How Come. It's spelled the way a 12-year-old boy would spell it. How, C-U-M, come. It's on all the platforms. You can follow us on Instagram at How Come Podcast. We do a lot of polls and stuff, just figuring out what people like. And I have another podcast called We Really Love Island. If you have never seen
Love
the British
Island
reality show Love Island.
Oh my God. I was standing. Well, I've seen the American version of it.
No, fuck that. If you have not seen British Love Island, you have not lived. And this is the time to masturbate, learn how to masturbate, and also watch Love Island for the first time and listen to my my podcast that goes with it, We Really Love Island. And then follow me, Remy Kassimir, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok.
She's a TikToker.
I love TikTok.
I could talk about it for so long.
Yeah, I love TikTok.
I can't talk about anything anymore because I purely want to go try that masturbating technique with my AirPods in.
Please.
And then I'm gonna text you right after and let you know how it goes.
Yeah, no, we'll record in a few days and then I'll get to hear all about
it. The update. Okay,
so
confidants. Thank you so much, Remy, for being here online.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You guys don't forget to go rate this 5 stars on iTunes. It really helps. You can always email us at confidentlyinsecurepodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us at confidentlypod on Instagram and Twitter. And oh my gosh, our shop is open. I'm wearing the new shirt. It says "This is my sad day" shirt, which is my favorite because I've worn it for like 3 days in a row and it's very soft. There's a bunch of new merch on there. That will be linked below. And we will see you next week. Everybody go come.
Yes, go come.
All right. Bye.
Bye.